YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee, and I am back with another video. Now, in this particular video, this woman says she contracted HIV and herpes, child. Listen, I'm gonna play it so you guys can listen to what she had to say. But all I'm gonna say is y'all gotta be careful out in the streets. You know, there's a lot going on in this world, and in particular, Houston is having a big problem with STDs and STIs. It's becoming a major problem. I want to play what she had to say. Definitely chime in the comments. Listen, if you are new to the channel and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe, share, and like the video, and turn on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content or go live. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and play what she had to say. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Here we go.
On December 20th of 2023, I went into the gynecologist for a routine appointment. She did a pap smear, and I was like, well, since I'm here, can you also do blood work and run a full STD panel, including HIV, because some places, I don't know, when you ask for STD testing, they don't test for HIV. And I also said including HSV1. HSV1 is herpes simplex virus 1. It is the oral herpes, and some places won't test for it because a lot of the population actually has oral herpes, a cold sore. So a lot of people test positive for it, but then they don't want people to freak out because a lot of people may not ever have a breakout. I don't know. That's what one physician told me, and I was like, I don't know what everybody else do. I would like to know all of it. Anyway, so I asked her for those labs, and she asked me, am I asking because I have any concerns, or am I asking because, I want to do preventative testing? And I let her know preventative testing. If I am playing adult twister, then I get tested every 6 months. If I'm not playing adult twister, then I get tested once a year. The last time I had been tested was March of 2023. It was now December 2023, so I was like, just include it in there. When I left the OBGYN office, I normally go to Quest Diagnostic, which is to the right. I went there, and it was probably like 5:30, and they didn't have any more appointments left because I think they closed at 6 or something like that. So I was like, damn, but there's another urgent care right on the left, and they have a lab in there. So I went to that urgent care to get my blood drawn. This is very important. That was on the 20th. On the 23rd, I got a notification that said my results are ready in the portal. I logged onto the portal. I didn't even go to the STD testing because I look at my blood work first. A doctor once told me that I am mildly anemic, so they asked me to take iron. Anyway, so I checked my blood work first, and then I was checking the STDs one by one. Not detected, not detected, negative, not detected. And then I get to, it said like HSV 1 and 2 antibodies or something like that, or antigens, and then it said like a high level of it. I immediately got on the phone with that doctor's office. She looked it up, and she was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to see if the physician call you back. Yeah, you see what I see. She called me back, and she was like, oh, I'm looking at your lab results. She's trying to go over everything else. I'm like, girl, I don't care about none of that. And she was like, oh, I'm looking on here, and it says, HSV 1 and 2 positive. She was like, I remember you asked for the test specifically. Like, is there something that you're worried about? There was nothing I was worried about. Actually, I was completely fine until I just logged on here and saw that it was positive. So now I'm freaking out. I am really freaking out. Like, I can feel myself, like, I can feel the anxiety just building. This is the first time I've tested positive for anything, mind you.
It's a lot, and this is why I tell young people, listen, if you have not put yourself out there, she said when she's playing adult twister, she gets checked every 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, so more often. You don't have to go through these type of scares in order to realize that you should be preserving or protecting your body. I think we could hopefully we can get through to the younger generation of people and let them know that you shouldn't, and you don't have to put your body out there in such a way to where you have to even be worried about these things. And even if you're gonna be out there and do something, protect yourself, cover up. There are certain things that you can still catch though, even if you do that. But I would say still protect yourself as much as possible, where you're not playing Russian roulette with your life, because these diseases and things are still out there. Everybody just outside, everybody just getting to the D and getting to this and doing that. And then when you're hit with these types of things, it can be devastating for some. It's like you forget that these things are still out there and you are susceptible to them. You're not immune, you can catch it just like anybody else. And then on top of that, there are people out here who are willingly giving this stuff to others because they don't want to be the only ones with it. They feel like, hey, if I got it, I'm going to give it to you. And you're out here just thinking that it's safe and not really protecting yourself. It's very, very dangerous. So let's continue.
Like, yeah, you've never tested positive for anything. Like, I'm gonna just have them run it one more time because we don't know if it's HSV1 or HSV2. HSV1 is oral herpes. HSV2 is genital herpes. She was like, so we're gonna have them rerun the test. This was on the 23rd of December. This was right before Christmas. The whole time during Christmas, I'm like stressed the fuck out. And thank the Lord I was on Christmas break from school because that would have been too much for me to handle. I done cried. I'm like, oh my God, like what? Thankfully that I was in school at the time. So like I had learned about this. So I'm like, okay, you know exactly what herpes is, how it works, like what you have to do, like just calm down, you'll be okay. So then I'm like, wait a minute, I got it from somewhere. So I didn't say nothing because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until she runs the second test. I finally got the results back on December 28th. I got the portal notification first. So I logged online. I seen that it said HSV1 not detected, HSV2 not detected. As soon as I was getting off of the portal, my phone was ringing and it was the physician telling me like, hey, good news, you actually don't have herpes. And I'm like, okay, well, why did I test positive? She's like, I don't know. So apparently that urgent care runs a different test than Quest Diagnostic does. And for whatever reason, there's some antigen in my blood that will always test positive on that specific test. Now let's fast forward to March 3rd of 2025. Now I'm going to the primary care physician. When I get a physical, I also tell her about my hip on the right side. Anybody that knows me knows I've been having hip pain for the past 2 years and I cannot figure out why. She's like, okay, we're going to get you some x-rays done. We're going to run labs to make sure it's not cancer. We're going to check your inflammation. We're going to check your blood count. They want to make sure it's not arthritis, osteoporosis, like all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, well, since you're running my blood, can you check me for STDs as well? Can you make sure that you include HSV1, HSV2, and HIV? She was like, well, I don't know. They usually don't run HIV. Like, I have to. I'm like, no, I want it all. Why would you not do it? I want it all. He's like, okay, do you have any concerns? I said, no, it's just preventative testing. Fun fact, a lot of places, or a lot of like clinics, if you tell them it's preventative testing, they will test you for free. If you tell them that, like, oh, I think something's wrong or I've been having this issue, then they will charge you or charge your insurance. But usually,
and I think that's something people need to be aware of too, because a lot of times you go to the doctor for like physicals or regular yearly checkups, or you go for like your pap smears and things like that, or and a lot of times they don't test for all of that stuff. You thinking, oh, you got to ask for that what is it, STI and STD panels and stuff. You have to ask for certain tests, because you could just go let them run the normal test that they run and then everything is fine, but you don't ask for those specific tests. And you got to ask for those specific tests because a lot of times they don't test for it, and you could be walking around carrying something and don't even know because you didn't ask for the test. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go in asking for those specific tests. If it's a concern of yours, or if you're having symptoms or whatever, you have to ask for those. Even if you're not having symptoms, ask for those tests, because a lot of times people didn't know that. They just thought that, oh, they're just tests and they're running all these tests and everything is fine, and then you don't ask for those. They don't run those specific ones, and you could be, who knows, walking around carrying something and don't even know. So you have to ask for those specific tests so that they can test for it, because they do it like a general testing and there's certain things that they looking for, but you got to really ask for those other ones. I'm just saying. So for those who don't know, you got to ask for those specific tests. Let's continue.
Or not usually. A lot of the times, if it's preventative, then they will cover it for free. So ask them. So I'm telling her, like, oh yeah, I'm not worried about that for real, girl. Like, since the last test I test negative, I've only been with one person 2 times. Like, I would know the 2 exact dates. I'm more so concerned about what's going on with my hip. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Turns out every time I say that, I'm wrong. So I went, got the blood drawn. Cool. That was on March 3rd, 2025. So on March 7th, I got an email saying that my lab results have been uploaded into the patient portal. Remind you, this is a new primary care, so I haven't registered for the patient portal yet. So I get on the phone with the doctor's office and I ask them if I can speak with her so that I can get my lab results. And they're like, well, you need an appointment. Our next appointment isn't until Monday. And if it's anything critical, if anything crucial, anything that stands out, she will be checking them later today and she will call you. I said, okay. So on March 10th, I have a 9:45 appointment with a psychiatrist. They want to see if I have ADHD. Turns out they diagnosed me with anxiety and depression, right? Very important to the story, because I hang up with them. 10 minutes later, I get a call, and it's the doctor calling me. And she's like, yeah, so we have some labs come back with abnormal results. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I have lung cancer. That's my immediate thought. And then, like, as soon as the thought finishes, she said, yeah, you tested positive for HIV. Huh? You tested positive for HIV. I said, are you sure? Like, can you read me back my name, first and last name, and date of birth? Because are you checking the right chart? I have never created a patient portal login type shit so fast. Like, while we're on the phone with them, I'm on my phone logging into the patient portal. It's on like page 3. I get to HIV, baby. It says repeatedly reactive. And for some reason, emotionally, I did not have the same reaction or as strong as a reaction as I did for the herpes. I was more so just like, what? I'm like, that was the least of my concerns, like the very fucking least of my concerns. So she's like, yeah, we got to get you to a specialist immediately. Like, we have an appointment tomorrow at 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. Which one do you want? And I'm like, I have work tomorrow. And she's like, listen, the next appointment is not for 2 months, so you need to make this appointment. I get off the phone and I'm just like, all right, well, I got HIV. Like, for some reason, the herpes scared the heck out of me. But with the HIV, I was just kind of like, all right, as long as you're taking your medicine and doing what you're supposed to do, following whatever your treatment plan is, you can have a long, healthy life with HIV. You can have children and literally have a normal life. The worst part about it.
Now, that's the part, they tell you can have a long, healthy life, which is true. You can have children and everything. And the person that you have children with, don't they have to maybe take some type of medicine that's PrEP out there? Do they have to stay on PrEP to ensure that they won't get, contracted with the disease, with the HIV? Like, it's a lot of steps that I think that if you were to get into a relationship with another person and want to have children and all of that, is certain steps that both people would have to take, and that's a step that a lot of people don't want to have to take. That's something that you have to consider when you're out here just willy-nilly doing whatever, having your fun time or what, a sexy time, whatever y'all want to call it, and just not being careful. So that's a major deal. Even though you can live a long life with that, is that something that somebody else want to be a part of? And most people probably don't want to be. Most men probably wouldn't want to be with a woman who has that. It definitely would be a turn off to most men, because they don't want to have to deal with that or go through whatever, So it's just, it's one of those things that you want to possibly try to avoid if you can. I mean, I'm just, Yeah, and protect yourself and be careful who you out here just giving your body to, because you just never know, child. It's a scary world. It really is. But let's continue.
To me is, one, you can't breastfeed because you can transfer the HIV to your baby. Two, I'm like, I have to tell everybody that I date now. Like, I damn near gotta say, hi, my name is Kira and I have HIV. And then I went to my friend's birthday party that day because that was her literal birthday. Or I didn't go to her birthday party, but she had like a little dinner at her house. People are probably shocked to hear this video right now because I haven't really told anybody. So it's the next day. I get to the appointment again, still calm, cool, collected. I'm talking to the lady who draws blood, and I'm like, yeah, so like, you know, how long does it take? Like, what are we checking for exactly? And she was like, I'm gonna partner you with a nurse to answer all those questions. The nurse called me in the back and she was like, okay, so the test you took the first time was detecting whether or not you have HIV. It comes back positive. They tested more than one time. That's why it says repeatedly reactive. So there's HIV 1 and HIV 2. HIV 1 is contracted here in the US. HIV 2 is contracted overseas. It looks like you have HIV 1. So now we're going to check your blood to see how much of the HIV is in your system. So they're checking for the viral load. A viral load less than 30 is negative. A viral load more than 30 is positive. That'll determine what your treatment is, and you'll go forward with a doctor from there. Usually 5 days to a week and a half to get the results back. We'll give you a follow-up appointment in 2 weeks, but your results will be back way before then. I said, okay. So I went back in the lab. She drew my blood, and everybody in there was so sweet. Anyway, so she draws my blood, and then she tells me to go pee in the cup. So I go pee in the cup. Then I went back to the front and I was like, oh, do you guys do rapid tests? Because I know they do like finger pricks places, and you get the results back right then. She's like, no, we don't do that here. I'm so sorry. I'm like, okay. So I go back into the office, into the nurse's station. A guy walks by and he was like, oh, hey, like, are you here so that we can start your regimen? And the nurse was like, no, she's here for the viral load count. He was like, oh, okay, we'll make her an appointment in 2 weeks so we can put her on a regimen. He's like, oh, wait, 1 second. I have meds in the back. I'm gonna give you some meds. He goes back to his office. I look at the nurse. I'm like, is this the doctor? She's like, yeah. He never introduced himself, nothing like that. Now he comes back with 3 bottles of Biktarvy. It's 7 pills in each bottle. And he says, okay, this is enough to last you 3 weeks. Start taking them today. You can take them with food, you can take them without food, you can take them in the morning, you can take them at night. It does not matter as long as you take it every single day. That's the most important part. I'll see you in 2 weeks. And then he walks away. And then that's when it hit me. For some reason, that medication in my hand, baby, it hit me like a ton of fucking bricks, okay? I literally wanted to bust out crying right there at that nurse's station, but I didn't. So I walked out of the office. There was a guy sitting on the steps right there. He's bawling his eyes out. I'm guessing this is his first appointment or something. He just found out that he got, I don't know. But I'm like, oh my God. Everybody in the waiting room, like some people crying, some people like look like they just got done crying. Other people on the phone. I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's too much. So I walk out and I call every single clinic in the area, right? Planned Parenthood, every clinic, HIV clinics everywhere. I'm like, do you guys have the free rapid testing? And every place is saying no. On my way home, I was watching TikToks of like people who tested positive for HIV. And there was this one lady who was like just spreading awareness of like at home rapid tests. And she was like, yeah, you can go on this website and get them for free. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna do this. So then I got home, y'all. As soon as I walked in my front door, I like just started bawling, crying. I was just like, oh my God. It's crazy because I didn't really have an emotional reaction at first, but I started noticing I had no appetite, like no emotional reaction, but my reaction was physical. I could not eat. And then I was like, oh my God, this man really gave me HIV. Like now I have to call this man. First of all, we're not on good terms. So now I'm really crying because I'm like, I don't want to call him. I don't want to tell him this. Like, I work in healthcare, right? So it's like you could have gotten into work, but not really because I have not had any kind of incidents. If he has, I don't think he knows. I don't like, there's no part of me that thinks like, oh, you did this to me on purpose. So I was like, I'm not calling him.
Oh, child, it's a lot. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. This is the mental, how you could be just mentally discombobulated, having to do all this. Child, it would be better just to wrap that thing up and go sit down somewhere. Child, Lord have mercy. Having to worry about all of this is just mind-boggling. It's like, child, who needs sex? Go wrap that coochie up and go put it in a saran wrap and leave it there so you don't have to worry about all this. It's too much to have to worry about. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me when I was a teenager, young, barely a teenager, and these older girls was in elementary school talking about they missed their period and they think they're pregnant. I had the same feeling like, oh my God, like what do you mean you might be pregnant? I think we was like probably 14, 13, and these big older girls were thinking they were pregnant and all this, and it was like mind-boggling to me because I had to be like 12 or 13, and I'm like, what? I couldn't fathom the idea of being pregnant young. It just reminds me of that, the mental, gymnastics my mind was doing. Like, oh my God, who would want to have to worry about that? You know what I mean? This is kind of like bringing me back to that. Like, does that make you want to put that thing in some saran wrap and just close shop and be like, oh, hell no. Until you find a husband and then get him tested to make sure he ain't got nothing and do all the rapid tests, both of y'all, and then y'all, because it's just too much to have to think about. It's too much. Let's continue.
I'm going to wait until I get the viral load back because I was an emotional wreck, y'all. And I was like, I'm too emotional right now to get on this man's phone and say anything. So I just cried my little eyes out. And then after that, I was fine. Like, again, it went back to like the no emotional thing. But again, I could not eat. It felt like I was withering away. I'm not even kidding. Like, the time it took me to get them results back, I started feeling malnourished. So that was March 11th, right? So then 2 days go by, March 13th come, and they give me a call and they're like, oh, hey, this is the clinic. We actually forgot to give you a rapid HIV test. And I said, I literally asked y'all when I was there if I could get a rapid HIV test. And y'all said no. And they were like, oh yeah, no, that was wrong. We should have given you a rapid one there. Can you come in today? I get there, she pricked my finger, take the blood, put it in this tube, poured some red solution in it, shook it up, and then poured it in this small little white bowl, right? As it was going in the white bowl, she took a tube of blue solution, poured that in there. It turned clear. So she's looking at it. I'm looking at it with her because I'm like, what are we looking at exactly? And then she was like, okay. You ready for the results? I'm like, yeah. She's like, this test is negative. I'm like, huh? She's like, yeah, this rapid test is negative. She looks at me and she's like, are you pregnant? I'm like, no. She's like, are you sure you're not pregnant? I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you positive? I'm like, girl, at this point, I don't know. You tell me. Because at this point, you got more information than I got. Am I pregnant? God damn. But I'm like, no, I'm not pregnant. I don't think I'm pregnant. Like, I know I'm not pregnant. And she's like, well, I don't know why you tested positive on the blood test and tested negative on this test. Let me call my supervisor. I can hear the supervisor on the phone. The supervisor's like, what the f-? And she's like, who told her she was positive? And the nurse is like, her blood test told her she was positive. I'm looking at it in the portal. She's like, you're sure the rapid test is negative? The lady's like, yes, I'm literally looking at the rapid test right here. It's negative. The supervisor's like, wow, that's weird. I don't know. And then she asked me again, like, there's not a chance you're pregnant. I'm like, I'm not pregnant, girl. I'm not pregnant. Fast forward 1 week later, the 18th, I called them. Hey, what is going on? Like, I still don't have any results back. You said it takes a week. And they said, yeah, we don't know why you don't have the results back. That was on Tuesday. On Friday, the 21st, I called again. Hello. Like, what is going on? It's been a week and a half. Now y'all pissing me off because now I have a follow-up appointment on Tuesday to start this regimen. And we don't even know what the viral load is because we ain't got it back yet. The nurses are like, we don't know why you don't have them. Like, we're actually going to have you talk to the doctor. We're going to have him give you a call. He gave me a call like a couple hours later and he's like, yes, have you been taking your medicine? I was like, well, I took the rapid test. The rapid test said it was negative. He was like, it did? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's weird. Well, the blood test is more accurate than the rapid test. So you still need to take that medication. Like, make sure you're taking it every single day. Doesn't matter when, you need to take it. We're going to get the viral load count. You're going to have an appointment with me on Tuesday so you can come in person. He stressed that fact. Your first appointment has to be in person so that you can set out the treatment plan or whatever. And then everyone after that, you can do it on the phone. The nurses will call you on Monday. We don't have your results back now, but we should have them back on Monday. If we do not have them back on Monday, we are actually going to call the lab and have them ordered stat. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So Sunday comes, I get an email and it says, I have results uploaded into the patient portal, right? Immediately, I went to that patient portal and I looked on there and it says something about like patient identification required or patient something about identification. I'm like, what does this mean? Like, Monday comes, I don't hear from the nurses. The appointment time comes and goes. So I call the office. I'm like, what is going on? I have an appointment tomorrow. It's in person. It's for me to start the treatment plan. He said, I need the viral load before I start the treatment plan. So if I don't have the viral load by tomorrow, it's pointless for me to come in. Also, why didn't anybody call me for my appointment today? She's like, let me check your chart. I'll call you back. She checks. She calls me back. She's like, we're going to have the doctor call you tomorrow. I said, he said it has to be in person. She's like, we're going to have the doctor call you tomorrow. He's going to call you on the phone. Okay. So now it's the 25th. The doctor finally calls me and he's like, yeah, so I'm looking at your viral load count and actually you have no viral load count. Like, there's none detected at all. Nothing. And I'm like, so why did I test positive? He's like, I don't know. I have no idea. So you're telling me that I don't have HIV? He was like, no. So the rapid test and this viral load test confirms that you do not have HIV.
Oh my God.
He was like, for some reason, it's just some antigen in your blood that tests positive for this specific HIV test. So now every time you get tested positive for HIV, you have to let them know that they cannot give you this test because you will be positive for it. When I tell you I just about fell out on the floor, he's like, yeah, we don't know. This only happened to very few people. It's not often that people get a false positive on HIV test. Like, you know, you're very lucky. He's like, you don't have to take the Biktarvy anymore, obviously. And he's like, but we do need to see you back in 2 months so that you can retest. So just to confirm you are negative. What are the odds that I test positive and get false positive for the 2 sexually transmitted diseases, infections, whatever you want to call them, that you cannot get rid of? I don't know what the is the antigen in my blood, but thank God I don't actually have it. Moving forward, I will always have to let them know that I test positive for herpes if they give me that specific test. I also have to let them know that I test positive for HIV if they give me that specific test as well. And I can no longer give blood ever in my life again because I tested positive for HIV that one time. But like, I hope this inspires y'all to go get tested. And I hope that this opens your eyes to how quickly you can get some, because I went from literally nothing to literally all hell breaking loose both times.
This should be enough to make you wrap that thing up. I mean, not just with a condom, like wrap it up with some saran wrap and don't let nobody touch it. That's what I'm saying. That's what that should inspire you to do, to not be out here, period, because this could, thank goodness she really didn't end up with it, but it could happen. Thank God she's okay, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to be notified when I upload new content. I want to hear y'all thoughts on this particular video. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.